Hey guys, welcome back to Overtakes. This is Misfit.
And I'm Cal.
And we're going to be discussing the Overwatch League Stage 4, Week 4, Thursday action. If you're new to the channel, welcome, and thanks a lot for tuning in. We do a lot of Overwatch League content, pretty much 5 days a week, sometimes 6. Sometimes we do double uploads. We have a lot of good content that we're putting out there. Don't forget to hit a like and a subscribe if you're into what we got going on. Then you can be alerted to the action and all that by hitting the bell. So, and all you guys that have been tuning in, thanks a lot. And let's get into some news before we hit the matches for today. So, yesterday, let's talk about that fucking shit show.
Let's talk about that. So, starting off, just like a brief little overview of what happened yesterday. Seoul lost all of their dignity. They lost to fucking Boston 3-1. And then it was the next game that was the Shanghai.
Yeah, Shanghai and
then, so Shanghai almost won and then didn't because, hey, that's the story of the season for them. Much. And then once again, Houston comes out and proves us wrong.
Yeah, Houston likes doing that.
Yeah, they really do.
That was it.
It's like fucking Muma or somebody watches us and they're just like, no, fuck these guys.
Yeah.
Every time they doubt us, let's just go out and play super hard.
I think it's Linkser. Because I always see something bad about Linkser, and he goes off and just fucking kills everybody.
Right.
I think that's what... Maybe he's the secret watcher of... It's like, oh, fuck these guys.
Right. It's gotta be something.
Just to be... For the day, it was pretty much a shit show. The best match was the two worst teams.
Right.
How does that happen?
Right. How was that the best match to watch?
And
then there was points where I was just like, how is this even a professional match?
Yeah.
Like...
Well, all of them were kind of like that yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, maybe with the exception of Houston and Dallas, that was a little bit more well played than the first one, which was fucking Seoul is just a ridiculous mess right now. Oh my
god, they are.
You couldn't beat a team that doesn't know what the fuck they're doing in this meta.
Right.
Obviously, you know less of what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah.
So, and
it's plainly obvious.
And can someone please take hold of the playoffs? That last spot. Stop, trying to pass it off to the next guy by losing to a shit team. Houston finally fucking said, alright, enough of this crap, we're gonna win.
Right.
And we're gonna fucking take hold of it. At least they grasped a match and beat a team that was playing really well.
Right.
But, Seoul is a shit show, Boston's free-falling, fucking Philadelphia, you don't know what the hell you're gonna get with them, who we're gonna see today. The Gladiators were hot, and now we don't know. I'm just fucking somebody please grab it. If not, just shut down the rest of the fucking league and put San Francisco in.
Right.
Because at least they're playing.
Give me a grand final of New York and San Francisco. Just skip the playoffs. If everyone else is going to play this way, then fuck it.
Yeah.
That's what we might as well see.
We might as well. And I'm going to apologize right now to all you Shanghai fans. I was the dick on Twitter, so bring the mayhem. Have fun. We brought something. I don't know if it was mayhem. Well, I guess you could call it mayhem, not in the way they want it.
Just not in not in the sense that they want.
More like the commercial with the fucking the insurance commercial.
Right.
We brought that kind of mayhem. We got into a car crash and fell out of the car. That's pretty much what happened. But we could spend an hour talking about how atrocious Seoul is. We keep jumping back and forth here, but.
But that's the thing is everything yesterday was just it was just a mess. Just yesterday in general was just the worst of the worst when it comes to what we get from these events, and then maybe just sports in general. I'm sorry, I'm a little bitter.
Yeah,
Cavs fan right now, so I fucking hate the world.
Yeah, and
fuck the Warriors.
Yeah, I'm backing you 100% on that. I don't like them at all, and I'm not huge into basketball. I also hate the fucking Capitals. So,
did they win it?
Not yet.
Not yet. They're up, what, 3-1?
I will be typing in not all caps for a week, or at least a couple of days until... Fuck them, too. Anyway, the play, it's just disturbing when, you're watching professional Overwatch or a professional thing, and the play is that bad. Yeah, there are days like that in the NFL, too, or hockey or basketball, where there's just all these games, and you're like, oh, these should be good, and they're atrocious.
Yeah.
But damn, guys, come on.
Yeah, hopefully by that being so bad yesterday, today gets a lot better.
Yeah.
And then, the rest of the weekend gets a lot better. And then hopefully next week is really solid games, and then going into that stage playoff. The last week tends to I feel like this happens every stage. We just get one day towards the end of the stage where it's just what the hell just happened? I mean, you're just left scratching your head at how and why?
Yeah, I mean that was our worst week picking since I think stage 1.
Yeah,
you went 0-3 and I went 2-1, and I got lucky to get 2-1, and you would have gotten lucky to get 2-1.
Right.
To be honest, I would like to see that Boston played well, but they didn't. The only team that played well was Houston.
Yeah,
and they came out and they kicked ass. I mean, I'm just gonna leave it at that. We'll go into depth, on the teams and what they did for the week. Recap for next week. Other than trash day. Wednesday is trash day in Cleveland, at least in my neighborhood. So it was pretty fucking fitting.
Right.
Okay, let's talk about the potential for today's matches.
Yes,
because they all have some heat to them. They all look like they could be good matches. We could be drastically wrong again. Well, maybe not. We have some of these playoff teams that don't want to be playoff teams or do want to be playoff teams, depending on the week. So let's start off. Let's start it off with we'll talk about a little bit. The match of the day we're going to do this week, or for today on Thursday, is going to be the Shock and the Fusion. So we'll get to that in a little bit. So let's talk Valiant and Spitfire. The Valiant are riding pretty high right now. They had a great week last week. London is pretty much in the same category as yesterday's matches. So who you kind of like in this one? It's still tough.
It is, because I don't know which London is going to show up.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing, is if London comes out and they start to really feel comfortable in this meta, and then you have Birdring playing like his old self, which he's been doing for the most part in this stage. So it's less so is Birdring going to show up anymore? It's more of, is the whole rest of the team going to show up now? Yeah,
now are they going to play cohesively and learn things about the meta and
right, and not be like, hey, let's just keep ramming dive into Brigitte and see how poorly that goes.
And I'm not going to go on that rant for the 500th time, but yesterday I got sick of seeing that.
Right, no kidding.
And London, it's like London started it.
Right. And then all these other teams are following suit, and it's just like, did you not actually watch that? Because they didn't do it very well.
Yeah. And it's like Prophet is unbelievable on Tracer. Right. He couldn't even get anything done.
Right.
So why are you even bothering?
Yeah, exactly.
Figure out the best strategy and you're pros, you know how to do this. Figure out the best strategy to get rid of Brigitte. Stop running Tracer and okay, we're done with that.
Yeah. So the Valiant that does make it difficult, because also the Valiant are playing really, really well.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm still somewhat hesitant on the Valiant, just because I feel like the game that they played against New York is their ceiling.
Yeah.
They can't get any better than that. While it was an incredibly well played game, if you go back and you look at it, I mean, New York was toying with them at points.
Yeah, they were fucking around.
They were just literally on horizon. They just ran dive at them straight up countless times just to see if it would work.
Yeah.
It didn't, but...
It didn't, but, they were it was like they were testing, well, let's try this way, let's try that way.
Yep.
And, the Valiant, put up a good fight, but they had the right comp against it. The big game, actually, where they impressed me was less New York and more when they beat the Gladiators.
Yeah.
Which I think I'm going to take the Valiant in this one. And I usually don't go against London in these situations, but I just like the way they're playing, and I don't like the way London's playing right now. They're a mess. Joining Seoul and Boston and other teams that are just lost their minds.
Right.
So I'm going Valiant. Who you got?
I think I'm going to end up going with London. Very reluctantly, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Understandable.
Yeah, I'm just going to do it. All right, so who do you got in your sights for this?
I'm going to go with Agilities. I just like the way he's been playing recently. He's been great for the Valiant.
He is. He really is the X factor for that team.
Yeah, and I want to watch him. See, I want to see him play, get his hero pool out there and see what he does against London, who has Prophet, who does kind of similar things, maybe on a little bit higher level at most points. Who you got?
I am going to be looking at Costa and Kariv because I really think that it all kind of revolves around them and how well they play. I mean, we all know how big of a support fan I am. That's I mean, and it's absolutely vital to this team. If those guys don't play well, then they're really screwed.
That was like my second choice for Custer and Kariv. I really want to see what they can do too.
Yeah.
So for London, I'm gonna go with Gesture and Fury because they seem like they're a little bit off lately, and I just want to see what exactly the deal is because it seems like for as great as those two guys are as a tank combo, they're having some struggles here, and I don't know if it's the meta, what London's actually doing as far as comps or how their strategies or what's going on. So I want to watch those two. Who you got from London?
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I'm really intrigued by how they're going to play and how they're going to come out because, like they are the backbone of that team. As much as we talk about like supports and all that, I mean, when it comes to London, it really is more almost about how Gesture plays than anything else.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get a solid performance from Bedosin and Nuss.
Yeah, they're usually pretty solid, and their DPS when they're on the right heroes
right.
play really well.
I mean, those guys make a big difference too, but I really think that the tone is going to be set by Gesture and Fury.
And which they did not set last week when they had atrocious matches and stuff. Okay, so let's move on to we'll talk about this one for a little bit, not too long. Gladiators and Excelsior. Are we getting the same thing out of New York? I'm assuming.
Right. Like, is this going to be the New York that was just like not giving a shit against the Valiant, or are they going to come out and just be like, no, okay, we had our fun. Yeah. Time to get down to business and 4-0 sweep.
It's hard to say with them. Either way, I'm still going to take New York, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I want the Gladiators... I want the Gladiators to come out, and I know they've had this game circled on their calendar since the...
Yeah, since the playoffs.
Yeah, and they want to come out and they want to play strong against New York because, I mean, that's the team. And if they can come out and they can even, if they can take it to, the last map being, they got if Gibraltar. They can make Gibraltar count... and then if they can even take it to 5, I think that's a huge win. Even if they don't win it, that's a huge boost for the Gladiators.
Yeah. That being said, though, they really need to get a win.
They really do. Because a win will solidify them a playoff spot.
Yeah.
Especially with the way some of the other teams or some of the other things are shaking out. I mean, it'll definitely solidify a playoff spot for them, but. Even more so, it could be...
Offshot they lose, they're looking on the outside again.
Right.
Because Houston's got a 4 map differential on them.
They definitely don't want to get swept.
No.
That's why a 5 map or losing by 1 would not be nearly as devastating.
No. It would not be.
Just because of how close all of the map differentials are in that 4 through 8 spot. Because that's the one thing that Houston has that could really end up screwing them is they've got a huge map differential.
Yeah, it's most of that's really from stage 1 when they had that roll. I'm going with New York.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're going with New York too.
Same.
So in our sights for this one, for New York, I don't know who I'm going to watch other than maybe watch CBOB and see what he's doing, because sometimes for as good as he is, he's the guy that's fucking around a little bit.
Yeah.
He was trying to do jump shots on Widow and crazy shit, and but I want to watch him play Brigida again, because his Brigida is up there.
His Brigida is crazy. I'm going to be watching Jonak, because I cannot watch that guy, because he's just, it's unreal, just how much better he is at that character than literally anybody else in the world.
Yeah. Gladiators, who are you going to be watching out for?
I feel like we say it every week. I wanted to say Hydration, but you know what? I'm going to switch it. I'm going to say Fissure. Yeah. Just because I love watching that guy. He's so good.
He is a great tank. Just watching him play, you learn so much just, watching him, and just seeing how he does things and the way he leads that team is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. I'm gonna look at Fissure, but I also want to look at Big Goose because he seems to be a little off.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to be putting out, like the last couple of weeks, his healing output hasn't been the same as it was before. And I think it's hurting them a little bit. And I just want to see if he can kind of bounce back, maybe get back to where he was, stage 3, and before that. So I'm watching Big Goose, and I'll be watching Fissure as well to learn, really.
Right.
For me, learning, Winston and Reinhardt. I'm more Reinhardt because I'm terrible, and I want to get better. Okay, so now let's talk about the match of the day. This is a big match as far as the stage goes for San Francisco and for the whole playoff scenario for Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And some stage implications for Philadelphia. San Francisco is playing really well. They're being coached really well. I mean, we talked about it last week a lot. Philadelphia is just like this confusing mess right now.
They're this team that like consistently underperforms. Like their floor is like bottom of the barrel garbage team, but then their ceiling is like they have the potential and the talent to be a number 1 team in this league. Like they honestly, if they could get everything consistent and get really, really good and just really get top tier performances out of all their guys and the top tier performances that we've seen from them.
Yeah, exactly.
They can beat anybody.
Right. I mean, they beat in stage 2. They beat New York.
Right.
And it was New York trying.
Yeah.
It wasn't New York fucking around. I just don't know what it is with this team. I think a lot of it's kind of the flopping of the tanks. I think it throws their synergy off a little bit. And I think a lot of teams are getting away from that and just running like, all right, these are our 2 tanks. We're going to go with them because it causes confusion. Because you got to change up your play style. So, Fraggy and Poco run this way.
Yeah.
So Sato, and then you have Sato and Hotba running a different style. It's just, I understand it like from certain maps point of views. Maybe, you run like a Horizon, you have these guys in because they do this thing that you usually do on there well or whatever. But flopping them in and out throughout a match, it just doesn't work.
Right. Well, I watched the oversight from this week, and they talked about that a little bit in the sense of like you can get away with like rotating your DPS and stuff in and out because there's so many DPS characters that guys are bound to be better at some than they are at others. Whereas with tanks, there's only so many of each type. There's really about 3 main tanks and 3 off tanks.
Yeah, and not all of them are viable all the time.
Right, exactly. So like when you have that, you're better off having the guys who are just out there consistently playing those characters, and that's tanks, and that goes for supports as well.
Right.
Like you can't just be throwing them in and out because it's going to be the same characters. They're just going to be played a different way, and that's just going to throw everybody off. Whereas when you have that consistent team of guys who are doing those things week in, week out, that's what's going to give you the most consistency and give you the best chance to win. Exactly. And they just got to get that down. Yeah. And San Francisco has pretty much locked that up right now with Super, Choi Hyobin, and then you got Architect, and then they're switching in and out Baby Bay and Sinatra, and they're keeping their supports pretty much the same too with Moth and Sleepy. Right now, I mean, honestly, I love San Francisco the way they're playing right now, and I'm going to take them in this one just for some of those reasons we were saying with Philadelphia. There's a lot of confusion, and I think San Francisco doesn't have that confusion that Philadelphia has with what they're doing. Yeah, I agree with that, and then also just the unclear status of EQO. Yeah, really hurts Philly. Like it would be a slightly different thing if we knew EQO was fully healthy and ready to go. But even with him playing, is he going to be able to play the same because he's not had as much practice? And then is his wrist injury fully recovered yet? Will he even play at all? Like, you just don't know. And so I got to go with San Francisco as well.
Yeah, and you're getting into scenarios here too where with Philadelphia you have to win.
Right.
So can he play? And is he going to? It's that like in regular sports. A guy's got a hamstring injury. Is he good enough to play a little bit, or can he go the whole way, or is he out, or are we going to put him in and he's going to just?
Is he going to twist his ankle pretty brutally and just fucking walk it off and then go and dunk it like it was nothing?
Yeah.
Because he's a goddamn robot.
Yeah. But yeah, so in our sights for San Francisco, who are we looking at?
San Francisco, I'm going to be watching Sinatra.
Yeah. That was my call on this one too.
Yeah. With all the different characters he's been playing and really showing his versatility, I'm really excited to see what he's going to do in this match.
Yeah, because he's proving that he's worth the money kind of right now. Because at first I was kind of like, what the hell's the big deal about this guy? He's an okay tracer. They got a good tracer. They got another good tracer. They got 10 tracers, I mean, now he's proving the point of, all right, 150 grand a year. All right, I get it now.
Right. And the fact that he and Architect have basically pushed Dante out of the rotation, that should be a big indicator because, I mean, it's not like Dante started slouching. That dude is still a really good player.
Yeah, he's a top-notch player, and he hasn't even gotten any time. And Baby Bay's not bad either, and he's relegated to Widowmaker McCree kind of scenarios.
He's relegated to the Taimu role.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it works for them, but if you look at what they did in the beginning of the year, those two guys were in all the time.
Right. And I mean, like, I don't know. I'm excited to see where Dante ends up because I don't think he's going to be on this team after this year.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's proven himself that he can absolutely be a starter on a team.
Yeah. Well, he's a little old for their team. What's he, 19?
Yeah, probably. I think he might be able to buy booze for him.
Yeah.
That's too old for them.
Yeah. Okay, so Philly, who do you have on your radar for this one?
I'm gonna be watching for EQO if he can play, and then if he does play, how well can he play?
Yeah, and just that spot in general, I was thinking that EQO or Shadowburn,
right? To
see where they go with that DPS that's not Carpe.
Yeah.
Because it's been a problem / question for the last couple of weeks, and I think it's throwing Carpe off too, because he hasn't looked as good.
Right.
I mean, he hasn't looked bad, but
right. It's all relative because like a bad performance from Carpe is where he has like a few his kill death ratio goes from like 8 to 7.8.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think what it's doing is other teams are focusing on them.
Yeah.
Or on him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because Shadowburn, like we've said, we don't think he's as good as EQO, but I want to see what he can do. Because if he gets regular time in the rotation, I think you're going to see that change.
Yeah.
But I still like EQO better, but I want to see what happens tonight with that.
For sure.
Okay, so that's going to wrap up the matches and the news for the day. We hope you guys are having a great day. Enjoy the matches tonight. Don't forget to hit a like and a subscribe down there if you like what we're doing. Also, you have some limited times. We're picking terrible, so why don't you join the High Noon Pick'em and see if you can beat us.
Right.
This week you're not going to have a problem.
No kidding.
But anyway, guys, we'll be on social media and all that kind of stuff tonight for the matches. Have a good rest of your day, and we will talk to you later.
Catch you guys in the next one.